Yo, serious question. They know we have cameras, right? Because now the big line is that no one has ever called Donald Trump Hitler. No one's ever said anything about racism. Yo, my eyes are about to pop out of my head. We're going to have some fun with this one. So make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn the notification bell on because honest to God, these people have no shame. They will just lie with impunity, even on things that are so idiotically and easy to disprove. Idiotically conceived and easy to disprove. It is wild. But guys, this is what they do. They propagandize you all the time. Doesn't matter about truth, doesn't matter about lies. It literally matters not. It's about the indeterminative narrative. That's all it is. I want this outcome, so therefore it doesn't matter what I say, I'm going to try to get to that outcome. Even if I have to say that I've never, or the Democrats or the media has never called Donald Trump a racist. And J.B. Pritzker has definitely never called Donald Trump Hitler, and I'm pretty sure no other Democrats have either. Don't believe all of your mental history on this. Believe what I'm telling you right now. Okay, you can follow me on X at Braden LOA. Guys, this is what we have to deal with. This is a real question in a press conference in the White House yesterday. This is a real thing. I did not AI create this. This is actually a member of the media saying this with a straight face. Watch this.
Where or when does the president believe he's been falsely called racist?
You're kidding, right? No. I will pull you plethora of examples. I'm going to get my team in that room to start going through the internet of radical Democrats throughout the years, Ed, who have accused this president falsely of being a racist. And I'm sure there's many people in this room and on network television across the country who have accused him of the same. In fact, I know that because I've seen it with my own eyes.
Where or when?
You guys realize the amount of balls that you have to be a member of the leftist media and actually say to the press secretary, of whom you've accused being a collaborator of fascism and racism, to say that no one has ever said, can you provide any proof? Do you have a terabyte hard drive available? I've got it for you on tap. My God, guys, this is, seriously, this is wild. These people are disgusting people. But anyway, that's not the main premise of the video. That sure as hell is a big part of it. But that's not the main premise of the video. And I'll touch more on this on my live stream tonight. But do you remember this clip? I'm going to play for you in a second just to kind of remind you of what we're talking about here. Because something's happening under the surface. And it's starting to rear its ugly head in the Democratic memos and internal emails. Because it's very clear they are now distancing themselves from immigration. They're closing the borders down. They're saying mass immigration is a destabilizing event. No one has ever called Donald Trump a racist. No one has ever called Donald Trump Hitler. All of that. Nope, none of it ever happened. Oh my goodness gracious. And I'm going to expound upon that a lot more in our live stream tonight. But anyway, just to remind you, this is Hillary Clinton 2 days ago. Actually, now it's 6 days ago. Sorry. Watch this.
I think we need to call it for what it is.
Secretary
There is
Clinton.
a legitimate reason to have a debate about things like migration. It went too far. It's been disruptive and destabilizing, and it needs to be fixed in a humane way with secure borders that don't torture and kill people.
Are we dead? Were there scanners? Did I have a stroke and or embolism? Because I seem to remember, if you said anything about having a sealed border, you were a racist. But no, that couldn't have been the case because this guy, this media journalist, just said that there's no evidence of anyone ever calling anybody a racist. I mean, that is so weird because I seem to remember thinking that this might not be a good idea and saying something about it and getting called every name in the book. It's weird how now all of a sudden they've manipulated away from their prior virtue signal positions, and now they're sitting very firmly on firm border, closed border. Mass immigration was a destabilizing event, and we have to have secure borders, and we have to have an immigration policy that makes sense, and no one's been called a racist. Lefties. Again, I'm going to expound upon this more in our live stream tonight. You are being played as useful idiots. You are losing everything, they are gaining everything, and you, at the end of the day, have to adjust to the new messaging, making you feel like a damned fool. Anyway, let's keep on going. How about no one's ever called anybody Nazis? Really? Okay. How about this one? Look at this. This guys, sometimes I'm at a loss for words. And I've been at a loss for words a couple of times the last week or two. But listen to this. Nicole Wallace is, man, I don't remember anyone ever calling Donald Trump Hitler. I mean, like, do you guys? Anyway, watch. You can tell me.
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say
I don't think any Democrat has. I actually, and I think it's a smear that they project back on to critics.
What is the natural extension, Justin, if he pursues this to Harvard and beyond?
There was an authoritarian leader several decades back called Adolf Hitler. Hitler came to power and the scientists left.
The military survive in that climate.
In the same way that it happened in Russia with Stalin, the same way it happened with Hitler, eventually you get generals and admirals that are in there that only tell the leader what he or she wants to hear.
To the extent that the rule of law and an assault on the rule of law was an obscure, intangible thing, we're now seeing it in action.
If you look back in history, you can see very similar parallels that took place in other countries that really went down that authoritarian road, including in pre-World War II Nazi Germany, when Hitler and Nazi officials basically took over Frankfurt University, which was the bastion of independent thought and progressive thinking and independent thinking, which is what Hitler didn't want. And so again, this is what authoritarians do. They try to control all of the aspects of social life.
When Trump,
you mean like the left has done with the media, with education, both higher and lower education, like that? Like with politicians? Like that, where you get all the different pillars of the society and then you just start to slowly mold everything? You mean like where you can control the distribution of a messaging and then you can have the brain rot that's happening in colleges and universities and then pump that out to corporations? So you have the media, you have corporations, and you have education? You mean like that? Is that what you're talking about, John Brennan? Because I'm pretty sure those all, until Donald Trump came in, they were owned by the left in collective perpetuity. Because I'm pretty sure that's the way it worked. You guys can tell me if I'm wrong in the comments down below, but I seem to remember that being a thing. But don't forget, no one called him Hitler. No one. Oh my God, look.
Talks about peace, and Putin talks about peace. It's autocrats getting their way. That's it. And Mussolini and Hitler said they were being the purveyors of peace.
I resisted for a long time analogies to Hitler's Germany. I've got in my Substack today, though, it's really uncanny. The same episode where Hitler, early in his tenure, before he's totally taken over the government, some local prosecutors go after his brown shirts. And they convict them, sends them, and then he releases them. It's really the same thing.
Throwback to what?
Yeah.
Throwback to what? Poisoning the blood.
I mean, that is literally Hitlerian rhetoric.
Right.
And
what do people think of what happened to us? The parallel here is to maybe show up on the shores and say, no, we'll go with Hitler. I mean, what do they think about the switching of sides with the turning of who occupies the Oval Office? I believe every voter who casts a vote, regardless of who they vote for, has to know that Donald Trump believes Hitler did some good things.
I can't imagine where they'd get the idea that if someone called anybody Hitler. But guys, do you understand what's happening? They are completely and totally just jumping ship on the entire thing that they've run with for the last 10 years because they know the extreme doesn't work anymore. So now no one called him a racist. Now no one called him Hitler. Now every single thing is perfectly fine with borders and immigration is normal if you control it and ICE is a necessity. You see how this works? A complete 180 on everything. And you liberals are just sitting there lapping it up, getting caught up in the mix. By the way, you don't get 47% of the population saying Donald Trump is racist without a full-on propaganda campaign. And finally, as a cherry on top, we're just going to walk down the progressives completely and totally undermining this, with Jasmine Crockett saying that the Democrats are racist against her. Don't mind this, just progressives eating each other.
The thing that is not normal is for me to be attacked from the left. That is the new wild card in this scenario. But it's just interesting. And, I've been asked a couple of times, a couple of things about it. And, I look at this specifically as a civil rights lawyer, and I see when they're sending out ads and they're darkening my skin, and I'm just like, I know what this is, right? And the reality is that, yes, I woke up a black woman. I was born a black woman. I know I'm a black woman, for everybody that didn't think I didn't know. Just FYI. Just FYI. But I am not running on the fact that I'm a black woman. I am running on my credentials.
Isn't it weird how she can say that about the Democrat Party? The Democrat Party would dare darken her skin in ads? That seems like something that they would call somebody else in the room, maybe on the other side of the camera, and anybody who would dare say anything about her being a progressive candidate. That sounds like they'd call us a racist for it. Just want to throw that out there. But don't worry, guys. There's never been a bit of racism. No one has ever called Donald Trump or you a racist. No one's ever said the border should be open and that immigration is a natural human right. No one said that ever. And no one has ever said that Donald Trump could be Hitler or any of his Hitler supporters. I mean, like, no one has ever said that. So, I mean, like, I really, guys, I don't know where you're coming from. Or you could be damned liars. I cannot wait for the live stream tonight. It's going to be fun. And I'll see you guys there. I'm Braden. Later.